with that star, where we're at now. We've come a long way. They still don't want me to put it on paper, but I can at least talk to you.
Ya hiç çekmedim burayı da onunla.
There's water. Okay, we're going to start. Today we're very, very honored on the DigiDesign stand to have Jean-Michel Jarre with us, and his engineer, who is Joachim Jarre. Thank you very much. My name is Bruce Nollet. I'm the director of DigiDesign France and sometimes a part-time interviewer. This is actually the first time I've done this. I hope it goes well. Now, last time I saw Jean-Michel, it was not here. It was in a studio where he had... how many musicians did you have? First thing you need is a microphone.
I have it.
You have it? Oh,
yes, hidden behind my back.
Okay.
Actually.
We were at Opus System, and Joachim was there. We had a mixer, and one thing that impressed me very much was the drummer. But you had, what, 7 musicians?
Actually, 4 main musicians. I mean, keyboards, bass player, drummer, and Joachim playing keyboards and also taking care of all the Pro Tools technology. And we're rehearsing the concert for the Millennium at the Great Pyramids of Egypt that we were preparing at that time. And then we had on stage lots of other musicians, symphonic orchestra from the Cairo Opera House, and some also traditional Arabic musicians playing for some of the very old instruments dating from the Pharaonic age. And this project has been really done with not only with the help, but I would say with the collaboration of DigiDesign and the complicity of DigiDesign from day one. And I must say that it could have, it simply couldn't have happened without Pro Tools, because we saved so much time because of the new Pro Tools technology. And I'm not just saying this because we are here at the AES with PostNet today. I mean, it's absolutely true. And Joachim here being a real virtuoso with Pro Tools from quite a while, would be able to talk about Pro Tools much more and in a much better way than I could do it. But I must say that we've achieved this whole project, Metamorphosis, the new album, entirely on Pro Tools. No tape, no even extra mixing desk or mixing board.
So you actually mixed, you composed, recorded into it, and mixed entirely on Pro Tools. And
even we went with the hard disk directly to the mastering room. So we had absolutely no converters from, between the, I would say between the composition process and the CD in shops or in record shops today.
Wow. And
the only converters actually are the converters you have at home, but no converters apart from that.
And the album is actually doing very well, I've heard. You're actually promoting it right now.
Yes, I'm actually all over Europe promoting the album. It has been released
31st of January?
Yes, more or less 2 weeks ago, and having been one of the best entry in Europe in a lot of territories. So
that's great for you.
It's not only I think it's not only due to Pro Tools, but but a little bit.
Someone else who's responsible. Okay, could you tell me what your first exposure to Pro Tools was? You remember that?
Yeah, it was probably a few years ago when the Pro Tools was not yet the 24 bits version we know today, and like a lot of software dedicated to music, the beginning was a bit difficult and bit difficult on both sides, because the first software was not sophisticated enough, or was not maybe also quick enough, and also I think the mentalities a few years ago.
Yeah, we're all
and we were all discovering a new something that we realized, and I realized, will change in a very near future. At that time, we had to consider that it will change entirely our habits, and we don't like changing our habits most of the time.
Well, if it's for the better, it's...
Yeah, but it makes an effort. I mean,
yeah.
It deserves an effort, and obviously I mean, considering doing an old project on Pro Tools was at the time something like a jump, and like quite dramatic change in our habits, being used to the old traditional recording technique we all know. I mean, with 20 multi-tracks, analog multi-track or digital multi-tracks, and the mixing, the conventional, traditional mixing desk we all know. I think we were all thinking, and I was thinking, that it should become a revolution as important as that the first analog synthesizers have been, for instance, in my life.
Oh, exactly.
It's exactly what's happening with these new Pro Tools 24 bits.
What is the actual configuration of Pro Tools that you have now in the studio? Or
So Joachim should answer to this, because it's changing more or less every week.
He is. Do you want to come up
If not every month.
Joachim?
Hello. Actually, the setup for the Jean-Michel studio is one Pro Tools 5, and there's one Magma extension chassis with four DSP, four mix farm.
Four mix farms.
Four mix farm and two old DSP farm, okay, for using the whole plugin didn't use 24-bit technology.
So you have an expanded Mix Plus.
Exactly.
Wow.
It is an expanded Mix Plus that because for doing this album we need so much powerful to create exactly what Michel wants. We have to use so many tracks, something around 80 for one song.
In the email that you sent me, you said that you finally got to something like 98 tracks, or 89?
Exactly. Yes.
89, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm dyslexic.
So we use two big screen,
yeah.
21 big screen for checking all the tracks, and that's the biggest setup I never use.
I think it's one of the biggest ones around. Now, so, you mentioned the word plugins.
Yeah.
Which ones were you using?
We use DU.
You were doing beta testing for them,
exactly,
did we Spider?
Yeah, with Spider and Scent, DU Scent. And this is one of your favorite one, DU, because the sound is so great. That use analogic technology. The sound is, we can play with the sound, create a new sound, distort the sound. Everything is cool and easy to use. And we use the Waves plugin with the gold
bundle?
Yeah, exactly. With the beta flanger and everything, all this plugin.
So, when you were doing like a final mix of this tune,
yeah,
how many plugins would you be using at one time? You can't tell me, there were so many.
Yeah, I use the plugin. Each time have power with the DA and the system. I use plugin. I use plugin, but I don't know how many plugin I use for this song. I don't know, for this song is I don't know, something like check. No, there's no.
Yeah,
because this is a special mix for the EAS show, because
Yeah, because we didn't have access to all your
exactly.
plugins.
This is not the same power. So this is a special mix for the show.
Yes, and also you had we used also some plugins that we pre-recorded in audio, part of the nature of the sound. The beauty of such a system is you can use plugins live and automated plugins, but also you can consider plugins as part of a sound, and then you can use the plugins as part of the sound, recording the result, and then having even more plugins than the one you are using live, actually.
So you actually had Pro Tools as sort of like someone who was playing on stage with you because he was changing the sounds.
Yes, and what's very interesting with the plugins technology and for instance the way we used it and the way particularly Joachim is using them, it's very close to a DJ approach, where until the last minute you have the possibility of being live on your songs. What in my opinion is very important when you are spending weeks on one track or few tracks, to keep a kind of freshness vis-à-vis the effects, and being even at the last minute, I mean, having fun with your plugins and playing live your mix. Well, in my opinion, is going to change a lot the way you consider mixing these days, where before you were into the recording process, then you were on a traditional desk, I mean, switching on mix, and then you were going into a different process, and even on a mental point of view, then your song was more or less finished. What's great with this is you are always in between recording process, composition process, mixing process. Even in the mastering, we could even change things live.
So it allows you to be creative right up until the last second.
Absolutely, yes.
That's good. Now you mentioned about mastering. You did that in London, and you wrote to me an email that you took over the album on 4 CDs. That's all. When you took the album across on the airplane, you had 4 CDs.
Yeah.
That's a change.
All the album, I can put all the album on 2 CD-ROM, because but I make 2 for backup, security backup.
4.
But when we go to London, we have, for example, for a song Air Gagarin, we have 4 different versions. So this is 4 bands. So that's why we have so many CD-ROM, and we can listen all the bands and choose the right version, the shorter, the longer, and something different with the EQ. At the end, we use a plugin for the, because all the song with sorry, excuse my bad English. All song was imported inside the Pro Tools. We make a big list, track list. We choose the order of the song, test the mix, the song after the song, change order, and when we listen in the studio, mastering studio, all the album, we need to correct a little bit some ending on some begin to be more clear, and so that's why we use plugin just before the mastering.
That's something that's important as well, because you went to the mastering place, they had a Pro Tools, so you can keep your session right up until the very last second. So if you wanted to change something 1 minute before you did the actual master, you were able to do it right
exactly.
there. Okay.
But that can be something dangerous too, because you can take 2 or 3 days more in the mastering studio, because there one day you have to take a decision and to choose the right version.
But you always have those options to do what you want right up until the last one.
Exactly.
How about archiving? Where you said that you would put the album on DVD?
Yeah.
You're using DVD
for backup. For backup, because all the sessions are actually on DVD, and because we didn't make a select unused audio and compact the session. Actually, all the recording, all the tech are inside the Pro Tools. That's why when we want to make a new mix, I don't know, for another country, or to make another mix for dance club or special media, we use the original session, and we can choose another piece of voice we didn't use in the album. So that's why all the session are very big because we did not compact and close the session. The session is always open.
Good. So now you're not sending big tapes by DHL all over the world, all that kind of stuff. It's just a CD that you send it by mail, by courier?
Exactly. Last week Jean-Michel was in Spain, and we need to test a new version for the Spanish television. And the morning I sent him an MP3 on his PowerBook, and so we can have the MP3 file, record the television. And another example is for make some remix. I don't know, for the second single we send just only a CD-ROM with all the session. So this is the big difference between old tape, with, I don't know, something like 24 tracks, and we just have to send a little CD-ROM. So
yes, I mean what Joachim is saying is really changing our life these days. I mean, this example of Spain. I was in Spain last week, and I would just to explain this a bit more precisely about the fact that when I arrived in Madrid, we had the wrong version for television appearance on this song. And then I was in the taxi from Madrid airport to the TV studio, and I called Joachim in the studio, and I said we're really in dire straits because it's not the right version. So he went into the session, he changed the few things we needed. He sent this to the, by the time I was in the taxi, he sent that via email in Madrid, and I got that on I just had to cut a CD in Madrid, and 1 hour later I was in the TV studio with the new version that he did in Paris. I mean, 50 minutes before. This is exactly the kind of things you can do these days. Yes, and we can actually thank the Dewey people because it's through their system that we've been able to get the record as...
Oh, you downloaded it to their place?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. They're very good friends then.
Very good friends.
Very good friends. Yeah. Okay. Just to sum up Pro Tools for the record, the general advantages for you would be all these various things that you're able to do. The plugins, the automation, the fact that you have the ability to remix now. And then when you're riding in a taxi in Spain, you can phone up and say, I need a different remix, and he'll do it for you. I hope he doesn't do that at 3 in the morning when he goes to the States.
It can happen, unfortunately. Now, I just would like to say, and Joachim, I'm sure will have more things to say, but on my point of view, I think this really Pro Tools concept is for me, really, as an artist, a revolution as big as the first analog synthesizer or the first sampler, because it's changing the whole approach of composition, the whole approach of making music. I mean, it's in the studio, for instance, we are not using analog tapes anymore, or even I mean, the big mixing desk in the studio. I mean, we just used it only for monitoring. What is in a sense quite sad, but it's the reality of the fact that we always, and you know what I'm saying, but we always been taught, or we always learned that the source of the sound is very important. When you are studying, for instance, how to record properly a bass drum or a violin, you know that the place of the violin is, the place of the microphone is crucial. These days it's not necessarily true anymore, because with all these plugins that you have in Pro Tools technology available, you can recreate frequencies, you can recreate even frequencies you don't have in the sound. So you have a great ability to shape sounds and to transform lo-fi into hi-fi or hi-fi to lo-fi instantly. And this kind of going back into the between what you have in mind and what the technology is able to produce is something absolutely unique. It's going to change, in my opinion, the next few months, our way of perceiving, producing, perceiving the composition process as well as the work for also images and visual and sound, because nowadays, I mean, frankly, working on sounds or working on images are closer and closer, and there is no more difference almost.
Actually,
I agree.
You agree. Very good. Very good. I hope that everyone is aware of the fact that Jean-Michel did a very, very important concert for the end of the millennium in Egypt. You all know that, I hope. And as I said at the very beginning of the interview, I was there for the rehearsals. Now, I thought that it was a very courageous thing to do, considering the fact that everybody was talking about the millennium bug. And here you were going to have, I think there were 2 Pro Tools who were actually there on stage. What were the Pro Tools doing? You had a Pro Control as well.
Yes, we had actually lots of specific problems to solve for this project. First of all, the fact that the millennium and the change of the millennium had to happen for television at midnight precise. It means that then we had time code synchronization for all the visual effects, and everything was slagged with Pro Tools. Plus the fact that some sequences or some special effects had to be in total sync with the visual, and then we had to play live on these effects, and until with this time code, like a movie, being straight at midnight into live on satellite all over the world.
So Pro Tools was giving the actual cues to people.
The actual cues, and one of the work of the, amongst a lot of others that Joachim had to provide, was also to provide some windows until the last 5 minutes. If anything was wrong, we could get rid of one song. We had to, because it's very difficult when you have such technology being involved in the desert with visual, lots of visual techniques, but also, I mean, some traditional Arab instruments, not knowing obviously at all what Pro Tools is or what kind of project they are involved, and playing instruments coming from, dating, as I said, from the pharaonic age. I mean, being confronted to all kinds of, I would say, different musical technique. I mean, describing more or less we had on stage more or less the different musical technology of the past
1,000 years.
I mean, 1,000 years, yes, all together, and everything had to be in sync. Actually, at least until midnight. After midnight, we had the next millennium to be in sync all together. So
But he told me that it got a little bit crazy because there was, at the last minute, there was a song that was very popular that you prolonged and had an encore of 4 minutes. So he actually had to change something in the schedule so that you matched up with midnight, and he did that live at the very last second. Is that true?
yes, plus the fact that I messed it. I messed it all 30 minutes before midnight by starting the wrong song.
You did?
Yes.
You started with the wrong song.
So we had to switch, and it was a bit of a headache for him.
But you're still here, you're still alive. Yeah. And he started with the wrong song. Okay. That's good. But everything went well, and you got past midnight, the right song at midnight?
Yes, and no millennium bug. We knew for quite a while that we'll have no millennium bug anyway.
That's good. But he was changing things right up to the very last second.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole mixture of having turntables and Pro Tools and acoustic instruments, and everything, I must say, worked very, very well.
That's good. That's good. You have to tell us your story of the concert because you were there.
The story is true, exactly. But I talk about the Kulthum song because it was the homage of Kulthum, and for the rehearsal, the song has a length of something around 4 minutes. And for the live, I don't know what's happened, but they play, and they play something around 7 minutes. So for me, it was a nightmare because everybody's playing, the audience was shouting, crying, and I look in the countdown and say, no, it's impossible. They have to stop, but impossible to stop because they played, that was a party.
How many televisions were broadcasting this at the same time? You had what, 60?
It was around 110 or something like that.
110. It was being broadcast live over 100.
Yes, we had something like 2 billion viewers at midnight, so we couldn't miss that.
Yeah, you couldn't be 4 minutes late. Everybody was waiting with the
Yes,
champagne,
that's
right?
right, exactly, exactly, yes.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
So, it was a total success, the concert.
Yeah,
I saw it. I thought it was very
absolutely. No,
good.
it was, and we are actually preparing a DVD and also a special mix for this project, DVD with surround sound, and obviously the Pro Tools technology is going to be heavily involved in all this.
Great. Well, I don't know if there's anything else I really have to say. What I'd like you to do is play the song again for everybody. And I want to thank Jean-Michel Jarre for being present today to tell us about the new album and the concert he did for the Millennium. Can we applaud? I'd like to.